Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel today. We're doing something special, a deep dive
Oh, cool.
into the OM Systems OM-3. It's this new mirrorless camera.
It's really got people talking.
Right.
Yeah.
Seems like it's a really hot topic. And you know what? We've got like a ton of articles here.
Yeah.
And
All your notes too.
yeah, we've been
Doing a lot of research on this one.
we want to like really figure out what's important,
Yeah.
what you need to know about this camera.
Yeah, cut through the noise.
Yeah,
You know,
exactly.
It's the need to know information.
Right. So we'll be comparing it to other cameras. We'll look at all its different features
Right.
and see if it really lives up to the hype.
Does it really measure up?
Exactly. So
There.
I guess let's just jump right in.
Sounds good.
First up, let's do like a super quick overview of the OM-3. The thing that gets me right away is how compact and lightweight it is. But it still has this solid metal body. It feels really well built.
Yeah. It feels like you can take a beating almost.
Right. Like you could take it anywhere.
Yeah. And it's not just about the build quality. The weather sealing.
Yeah.
Pretty incredible on this camera.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Dust, moisture, you can take it out, and freezing temperatures. Dude, this thing is ready for anything.
That's really cool. I'm always impressed by gear that can like keep up with you no matter where you go.
Oh, absolutely.
So let's look under the hood a bit. The OM-3 has a 20 MP micro four thirds sensor and the TruePic NIX processor.
Right, and that combo is really the magic behind the image quality that everyone's been talking about.
Okay, so let's get into some of those key features and the upgrades. You know, what makes this camera stand out? Looking at this article here from LearnXYZ, and there's a lot to unpack. So first up, we've got the 20 MP stacked live MOS sensor. What's so special about this sensor?
Okay, so it's all about the stacked
Right.
of the architecture.
Okay.
So this design, it allows for super fast data readout speeds, and what does that mean for you? Less of that annoying rolling shutter effect. You know, you sometimes see that in videos, and it means you can shoot bursts of photos at up to 30 frames per second.
Wow, okay, that's really fast. Okay. Next up on the list here is the 7.5 stop in-body image stabilization, or IBIS, as people call it. They're saying this is like world-leading. And I think, from what I'm reading, I think it might actually be true.
Yeah, 7.5 stops. That's a game changer, seriously.
Wow.
That means you can shoot handheld in much lower light than you could before and still get tack-sharp photos. Forget tripods. This camera lets you shoot in situations you wouldn't even dream of with other systems.
And that's amazing. Okay, here's a feature I'm personally really excited about. The AI-powered autofocus the OM-3 has. Real-time subject tracking that can actually lock onto humans, animals.
And even vehicles.
Yeah, the AI is becoming more and more common in these autofocus systems. But the way the OM-3 does it, it's really something else. It's incredibly accurate, really responsive, and it makes it a dream for action photography and videography. That's awesome. Speaking of videography, this camera can shoot 4K video at 60 frames per second, plus full HD at 240 frames per second. So you can get some really cool slow motion footage.
Yeah, you can get really creative with it.
And it even supports 10-bit 4.2.2 internal recording and 12-bit raw output over HDMI.
Those are specs that used to be reserved for like high-end professional cinema cameras.
Right.
Now you've got all that power in this tiny camera.
It really does seem like it's designed for creators who want to, you know?
Do it all.
Photos, videos, everything.
Yeah, exactly.
And all of this is powered by the TruePic 12 processor. So
Right.
it's working hard in the background to be sure you get the best image quality,
Yeah.
noise reduction, dynamic range, everything.
The workhorse.
Okay. Before we move on, I want to look at this top 10 exclusive facts about the OM-3.
Oh, yeah.
There's some really interesting points in here.
Yeah, I think people would be interested to hear about some of these.
Yeah. Okay, so first up, for our wildlife photographers, it has AI subject detection, specifically for birds in flight.
Wow.
That's right. This camera can track birds as they're flying through the air and keep them perfectly in focus.
That's insane.
I know. It's amazing. Okay, here's another one. If you love landscape photography, but hate carrying around a tripod, the OM-3 has handheld high-res shot mode.
Oh, right.
It creates these stunning 80 MP composite images without needing a tripod.
Yeah, no more shaky long exposures or carrying all that extra gear.
Right.
It's amazing.
Okay, one more fact I have to mention. Now, this is a micro four thirds camera, but you're not limited. to just micro Four Thirds lenses.
Oh, really?
Yeah. The OM-3 actually offers cross-brand lens compatibility. So with an adapter, you can use Panasonic Leica L-mount lenses.
So you've got a lot of options. You can really tailor it to your needs.
Exactly.
That's great.
And to top it all off, it even has built-in GPS and weather sensors.
Really?
Yeah. So every photo is tagged with location and weather data.
Yeah, that's really useful for keeping track of your adventures.
Right. Okay, so I think we've covered the basics of the OM-3. It's a compact, powerful, feature-packed camera. Yeah. But how does it actually stack up against the competition?
Yeah, that's the real test, right? Yeah. Spec sheets are one thing, but how does it actually perform in the real world?
Right. And how does it compare to some of the other cameras that people might be considering?
Exactly.
Okay, so let's dive into some camera comparisons I think a lot of people are curious about. How the OM-3 compares to the Pen F, which is sort of a cult classic from OM-Systems.
It's a beautiful camera.
Yeah, it's known for that retro styling and really great image quality. So how does the new kid on the block stack up?
Well, on paper, the OM-3 has the edge in a few key areas, like the IBS, for example, the OM-3 has. That 7.5 stop stabilization, which is a huge jump from the Pen F's 5 stops.
Wow.
And then when it comes to video, I mean, OM-3 is just in a different league.
4K 60p recording versus the Pen F 1080 60p.
Right. And we can't forget about that AI-powered autofocus that we were talking about earlier, which is miles ahead of what the Pen F offers.
And of course, you get that full weather sealing on the OM-3, which the Pen F doesn't have.
Okay. So there are some definite advantages there.
There are. But I do have to say, the Pen F is a bit lighter than the OM-3. And since it's been discontinued, you can often find it at a lower price these days.
Right.
So for casual shooters who are looking for something really portable and maybe a little more affordable, the Pen F might still be a tempting option.
Right. It really depends on what your priorities are.
Absolutely.
But I think if you're serious about video or low light performance or just overall speed and responsiveness, the OM-3 is the clear winner.
Yeah, I would agree.
Okay. So for another comparison, let's look at the OM-3 versus the Fujifilm X100V.
Okay.
These are both really well-regarded cameras.
And they've got their own strengths.
For sure.
The X100V is kind of a legend.
It is.
It's known for its super slick design, that gorgeous 23mm lens.
Right.
And Fujifilm's famous film simulations.
Oh, yeah. Everyone loves those.
So how does the OM-3 measure up to that?
Well, the most obvious difference is the sensor size.
Okay.
The OM-3 has a micro Four Thirds sensor, and the X100V has a larger APS-C sensor.
Right.
So generally, that means the X100V will have an advantage in low light. And forgetting that, shallow depth of field.
And of course, the X100D has that fixed 23mm lens, which is known for being incredibly sharp.
It is.
So with the OM-3, you get the flexibility of interchangeable lenses, but
yeah, it's a trade-off.
It is. You have to think, what's more important to you? Do you want the simplicity and the image quality of a prime lens, or do you want the versatility of being able to change lenses?
Right. But here's something interesting. OM-Systems has introduced this creative wheel feature on the OM-3.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and it seems to be their answer to Fujifilm's film simulations. So the creative wheel, it gives you all these different color profiles and creative controls, and it lets you achieve different looks in camera, much like those film simulations.
Oh, that's cool.
So even though they have different approaches, they're both catering to photographers who want more creative control.
Right. That's awesome. It's like having a digital darkroom.
Yeah.
Right in your camera.
Exactly.
Okay. So one last comparison here. The OM-3 versus the Nikon ZF.
Okay.
Now, the Z is a full-frame camera. It's also got that kind of retro look.
Yeah.
But it's definitely bigger than the OM-3.
Yeah, significantly bigger.
So what are the big differences here?
I think the biggest difference is the sensor size.
Okay.
The Z has a full-frame sensor. And that's obviously much larger than my micro Four Thirds sensor in the OM-3. And generally, a larger sensor means better low-light performance.
Yeah.
And you can create those images with the blurry background, that bokeh.
Right. And usually that full-frame quality comes with a pretty high price tag. It's interesting. The OM-3 and the ZF are actually priced pretty similarly.
Yeah, that's right.
So it really comes down to what's important to you. The OM-3 is all about portability, versatility.
Right.
And the Z is focused on getting the absolute best image quality.
Exactly.
So if you're someone who wants a compact camera, something lightweight that you can easily take with you on adventures, and you're invested in the Micro Four Thirds system, then the OM-3 makes a lot of sense.
Makes sense.
If you're willing to carry
a
larger camera and lenses to get that, top of the line image quality, especially in low light, then maybe the Z is more your style.
Right.
It's all about trade-offs.
It is.
But it is interesting to see that the OM-3 can hold its own against some pretty serious competition.
It really can. It's impressive.
All right, so I think it's time to shift gears a little bit and talk about some of the creative features that make the OM-3 so unique. All right, so let's talk about getting creative with the OM-3.
Yeah.
One of the things that really stands out to me is how much emphasis OM Systems has put on giving photographers tools to really express their vision.
Right. It's not just about capturing reality anymore. It's about shaping it, interpreting it, making it your own.
Exactly. And I think one of the ways the OM-3 does that is with the Creative Dial, which gives you direct access to a whole bunch of different film-like color profiles and monochrome options.
Yeah, you can really get those classic film looks.
Right.
You've got warm tones, cool tones, high contrast, low contrast. You can really experiment and find what works for you.
And it's not just presets. You can actually fine-tune the profiles to get the exact look you're going for. You can adjust the color balance, the contrast, sharpness. You can even create your own custom profiles.
Wow.
And here's the cool part. You can actually share those custom profiles with other OM-3 users.
Oh, wow, that's neat. So you can learn from each other.
Right. Okay. So the creative features, don't stop there. The OM-3 also has a dedicated CP button, which stands for computational photography.
Oh, right.
And this is where things get really interesting.
Yeah. The CT button gives you quick access to a whole bunch of tools that can really expand your creative possibilities. We're talking live ND, live GND, focus stacking, live composite.
Okay. Those sound pretty high-tech.
They are.
Break it down for me.
Okay, so let's start with live ND.
Okay.
With this feature, simulates the effect of a neutral density filter.
Okay.
So it allows you to use slower shutter speeds, even in bright daylight. So you can get those really beautiful motion blur effects.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, like silky smooth water or streaky clouds.
Right, so no more carrying around a bag full of ND filters. No.
It's all built in.
That's great. Okay, what about live GND?
So live GND, that's graduated neutral density. It does a similar thing, but with a graduated effect. So this is really helpful for balancing exposure in scenes where you have like a bright sky and a darker foreground, like a sunset over a city.
Right.
You can avoid those blown out highlights and get detail in both the sky and the ground.
Gotcha. Those both sound really useful for landscape photography. What about focus stacking?
So focus stacking is a technique where the camera takes multiple photos at different focus distances.
Okay.
And then it blends them together to create one image that is perfectly sharp from front to back.
Oh.
It's really useful for macro photography, where you have a very shallow depth of field. It can also be useful for landscapes or product photography when you want everything to be in focus.
That's cool. So the camera's doing something that you used to need specialized software for.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
And what about live composite?
Live composite. This is a really unique feature. It lets you capture light trails over time, like star trails or car headlights at night, all in a single exposure.
That's really cool.
Yeah. The camera takes a series of images, and it only adds the new bright areas to the final image, so you don't overexpose the rest of the scene. It's a great way to get really creative with light.
So I'm sensing a theme here. The OM-3 is all about giving you the tools to explore and experiment with all these different photographic techniques.
Yeah, it's not just about point and shoot. Right. It's about really pushing your creativity.
Right. I remember reading that the OM-3 can also do slow motion videos and hyperlapses.
Oh, yeah. There's a dedicated slow and quick mode that lets you capture those really dramatic slow motion shots or time lapses. You can compress time into these really engaging videos. It's great for storytelling, whether you're documenting a sporting event, a travel adventure, or just everyday life.
We've got all these incredible creative features for stills,
yeah,
powerful video capabilities, and those computational photography tools. It really does seem like the OM-3 can do it all.
It really does.
All of that comes in a camera that's built to last.
Right.
With that rugged, weather-sealed body.
You can take it anywhere.
Right. Okay. So, we've covered a lot of ground here. We talked about the OM-3's heritage, its key features, how it compares to the competition, all those awesome creative tools. So,
yeah.
I guess the big question is, who is this camera really for?
That's a great question.
What do you think is going to be
yeah.
most drawn to this camera?
I think it's going to appeal to a wide range of photographers,
yeah.
from enthusiasts to professionals. But I think there are a few groups who will really benefit from its unique set of features.
Okay. Who are you thinking of?
Well, I think travel photographers are going to love this camera. It's compact, lightweight, durable, weather-sealed, perfect for exploring the world. You don't want to be weighed down by bulky camera when you're on the go.
Right.
And the OM-3 gives you the freedom to travel light without sacrificing image quality or features.
Right. I can definitely see that. Who else?
Street photographers, I think they'll appreciate the compact size, the discreet design. You know, it lets you blend in, capture those candid moments without drawing attention to yourself.
Right.
And the fast autofocus, the burst shooting, those are essential for street photography.
Yeah, you got to be able to react quickly.
Absolutely.
Okay, so travel photographers, street photographers, anyone else come to mind?
I think videographers will really appreciate the OM-3's video capability. I mean, we're talking 4K resolution at 60 frames per second, 10-bit internal recording, the ability to output 12-bit raw footage over HDMI.
Wow.
These are specs you'd typically find on much larger, more expensive cameras. It gives you so much flexibility to create professional quality videos.
And don't forget about those two new video color profiles. OM Cinema 1 and OM Cinema 2.
Right.
Which are designed to give your footage a more cinematic look.
Yeah, it's amazing what they've managed to pack into this little camera.
Right. So it really seems like the OM-3 is a great choice for a wide range of creators. From beginners to seasoned pros.
For sure.
It's a camera that can grow with you as you learn and develop your skills.
Absolutely.
Well, you definitely convinced me. The OM-3 sounds like
an
incredibly capable camera. Now, just for fun, if you had to choose one place to take this camera to capture your own unique vision, where would you go?
Oh, wow. It's the tough one. There are so many amazing places in the world, but if I had to choose, I think I would take it to the Scottish Highlands.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. The rugged landscapes, the dramatic light, those ancient castles, the misty lochs. It's a photographer's dream.
I could just picture the photos you would take, the misty mountains, the rolling hills.
And maybe even a glimpse of the Loch Ness Monster.
Right.
And with the OM-3's weather sealing, I wouldn't have to worry about the unpredictable Scottish weather.
That's true. All right, well, I think we've done a pretty thorough deep dive into the OM Systems OM-3. We explored its features, its capabilities, and its potential to really inspire your creativity. So hopefully this has been helpful for you as you consider whether this camera is the right fit for you.
Yeah, and if you're interested in learning more about the OM-3 or exploring other photography gear, be sure to check out LearnXYZ-In.
Right, they have tons of resources, reviews, tutorials, everything you need to help you on your photography journey.
Definitely.
And of course, we would love it if you like this video and subscribe to our channel for more deep dives into the world of photography.
We're always exploring new gear, techniques, and creative approaches to help you take your photography to the next level.
And don't forget to check out our website, www.learnxyz.in, for even more photography goodness.
Absolutely.
Okay, thanks for joining us on this deep dive into the world of the OM-3.
Until next time, happy shooting!